What up? It's the Grandpa MC coming at you with another video. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Alright, man, it's been a little bit since I've been on here. Been a good day of football. I ain't exactly got my the way I'm gonna cover these football games down, but it was some real good games today. But this video is about the comments that Steph Curry made, along with the comments that the commissioner made. So I'm gonna cover two subjects, one in one, because it all matches up. All right, as first as far as the commissioner goes, commissioner came out a few days ago, said that it's gonna be a rule change where the player that shoots a shot at the end of the shot clock or the half or whatever, I mean not the shot clock, but the game clock, the player will not be, his field goal percentage will not be affected by taking a shot at the end of the clock, which is whatever, man. Also, Commissioner Silver came out this week and said that, you know, well, the question was presented to him, what about all these streaming services you got to have to keep up with the games? And Commissioner Silver was basically like, well, it's not a big deal. Our sport is mostly a highlight-driven sport, and it'll be all right. That's basically what he said. Man. And then to top it off, Steph Curry comes out and says that his era is the best era for basketball ever, which is BS. It's whatever, man. Again, like I say, I've been like struggling to try to find the inspiration to make these videos, because it seems like it's one ongoing thing after another. Like, it's always got to be, well, and I'm talking about particularly basketball. It's always got to be whose era was the best. This player wouldn't do this in this era and all this other stuff. And I've been thought it, but like it brought it to the forefront of my mind, where I saw a post on Instagram, and it was this podcast, of course, and the guy was talking about, why is it that just NBA basketball players have to down the era that came before them? And he went on to say that, they don't do that in football, they don't do that in basketball. I mean, they don't do that in football, they don't do that in baseball. I mean, like, I had to think about it too, because Ray Lewis is one of my favorite linebackers of all time in the NFL. But you never heard him, even at his height, you never heard him saying anything disparaging about Dick Butkus or what's that linebacker that played for the Charlie Huff? Is it Charlie Huff? Sam Huff, that played for the Giants. You heard nothing from Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis. I just saw him just the other day on an Instagram post. Luke Kuechly. He was coaching a football, like a football team, a small, like a smaller football team, and he tackled the player, and they were saying, like, still got the form or whatever. You never heard any of these football players. Jerry Rice, you can go down the line, but it's only in basketball that the modern players now, they are hell-bent, it seems like, to destroy the past eras. And Steph Curry, just to touch on him, if the rules were not adjusted to basically take out hand checking and more physical play, Steph Curry would have retired a long time ago. Steph Curry would have retired maybe 3 years ago if it was still the same. If he had to do the same the things that Reggie Miller had to do to get open, Richard Hamilton, what's his name, Chris Mullin, like players like that were known as long range shooters, they did not have the green light to either shoot as much as Steph Curry does or have the freedom of movement that Steph Curry has. And I know deep down inside Steph Curry knows that, because he grew up around the game. His daddy was a long range shooter. He was kind of like, he was a specialist. Dale Curry was in the days that I watched him. Now he might have been something more before that, but by the time I started watching basketball, Dale Curry was just a spot up shooter, especially like in Toronto days, and I want to say the Charlotte Hornet days. I mean, that's where Steph Curry grew up. When Steph Curry when Dale Curry was playing for the Hornets around the Larry Johnson time. He knows the difference between the way the game used to be played and the way it's played now. Like, players in the past did not get away with travels, get away with carries, which Steph Curry is a violator. And all those shots that he's shooting from half court, he wouldn't have been able to shoot in the days of structured basketball. Now it's AAU basketball with an NBA label on it, but in the days of structured basketball, Steph Curry would not be able to do the things that he's doing now. Now he's gotten a lot stronger over the years, diversified his game. He mixes up the shots with drives to the hoop. Got some layup packages he's developed over the years. So Steph Curry, to his credit, he has added more to his game as the years have gone by. But it's just like I say about LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Steph Curry has been in the league for a long time. I've been watching Steph Curry since 2006. And so he's been around for a while. And like I say with LeBron, the longer these guys stay in, the more they reveal themselves. And Steph Curry is the latest example of that. Like, he needs to clam up. He needs to clam up. Because if it wouldn't have been for Kevin Durant, his title count might be 2. His title count might be 2. Because they were not going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers the way that the roster was constructed after they lost to Cleveland. So Steph Curry needs to count his lucky stars that Kevin Durant was able to be influenced by the draw of titles and winning with a team that was playing the best brand of basketball in the league at that time. That's most of the reason why they beat most of the teams that they played. That record, that all-time record when they topped the Bulls, 73 wins or whatever, that was mostly a byproduct of team just being caught off guard of the system that they were playing, because they were playing some kind of like old school basketball fused in with some new basketball. Some of the principles of the triangle was brought along, and the movement was more emphasized. The movement of the basketball and people. Anybody remember Pete Carril? So I mean, like, you know, that's pretty much all that I got on that, man. You know, like, Steph Curry's going into the twilight, and he's showing what side he's on. So pretty much it, man. Grandpa out.